Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I call to order the Wickliffe City Council meeting of February 13, 2023. Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballot.
Here.
Gerhardstein.
Here.
Jaworski.
Here.
Kosky. Here. Levon.
Here.
Saloto. Here. Thielman.
Here.
Approval of council minutes.
Make a motion that we approve the council minutes from January 23rd, 2023.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, second by Councilman Thielman, to that the council meeting minutes of January 23rd, 2023 be approved as presented. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballot.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kosky. Yes. Levon.
Yes.
Saloto. Yes. Thielman.
Yes.
Reports and communications from the mayor, safety director.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, everyone. 2 weeks ago, Council President Levon and I met with the school board for our first of this year's quarterly meetings. Also to let you guys know, you received your report from the health board, our representative. She will continue to make monthly reports of summarizing the meeting they had. Last Friday, I spent the morning at Career Day at Wickliffe Middle School. It was a great time telling the 8th graders about local government, trying to get them excited actually about the council and mayor positions in the city. And tomorrow's our Western Lake County Chamber of Commerce State of the Cities, and the mayors of all of Western Lake County will meet and go over everything that's going on in these cities. And then lastly, last week, the cities, myself, Willowick Mayor, Willoughby Hills Mayor, along with some of our team members, we went to Euclid and we met with the Euclid Mayor and the service director. So I'm requesting, they explained kind of why they're at with raising the sewer rates, and Euclid's gonna receive, their residents will receive the same rates. And so I'm requesting that this item be put into committee for further discussion.
All right, we'll put sewer rates into the finance committee.
And that's all I have.
Any questions or comments from the mayor, safety director? Councilwoman Kosky.
Has there been any discussion about Student Government Day coming back in high
Yes.
school?
So this year, they're gonna do it on a small scale since it's the last year and a lot of things are going on at the new campus. So it'll be just myself, a couple directors, and we're gonna go talk to for a 90-minute class. Next year, it's gonna be back to normal in the new campus, and they wanna structure it just like it used to be. So I'm kind of excited for that, so yes.
Okay. Yeah, because it's a wonderful opportunity for the students to see what all happens in the city that they live in and see what the police department does, the fire station. It's great.
I asked them to bring it back this year. They didn't want to do full scale just because of the construction and things going on. So they plan to do it full
Okay,
force.
very good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further questions or comments from the mayor, safety director? Thank you, Mayor. Reports and communications from the director of law.
Thank you, Mr. President. Nothing in particular to report on, but two things I did just want to mention. One is you'll see we have an executive session at the end today to discuss personal compensation and collective bargaining. And then also wanted to let council know that I'm going to have Sarah Finelli, the prosecutor, work with Sherry to work on reports to give you guys on a monthly basis, prosecution-wise. I just wanted to make sure, without being hasty about it, that we can report something to you that's not already being reported to you, make sure that we can do it in an efficient way so we're not spending a lot of time doing the report, and get you information that is useful as opposed to duplicative or extraneous. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments for the law director? Thank you, Jeremy. Communications from the council president. I have none. Any amendments or additions to the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on to administrators. Police Chief Vice.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't have anything to add to my monthly report.
Any questions or comments for the police chief? Thank you, Chief Vice. Fire Chief Powers.
Thank you, Council President. I have nothing to add to my monthly report.
Any questions or comments for the Fire Chief? Thank you, Chief Powers. Finance Director Doles.
Thank you, Council President. I just wanted to let you know that the January closed and the general fund balance carryover was 6.8 million, and that's all I have to report right now.
Any questions or comments for the Finance Director? Thank you, Ms. Doles. Engineer Formica is excused. Service Director Strouser.
Thank you, Council President. I just had a couple of things I wanted to mention. We did use, our salt usage for January was up, but it was at 700 tons. We're still in great shape for the season with the lack of snow. And I also did want to mention, we got our Euclid sewer bill, and it did go up roughly, approximately $100,000 for this month, just for the extra usage. January was a real wet month. It normally is one of our highest usage months, but it increased significantly, around 100 grand. That's it.
Any questions or comments for the Service Director? Councilman Jaworski.
Ron, so we get billed on a monthly basis then for the sewer from Euclid?
Any further questions or comments for the Service Director? Councilman Thielman.
On the exit ramp on Route 2, where the guardrail's all torn up, is there eastbound coming down from Route 2? I know it's the county's.
The county actually does that.
It's been about 3 months, like
There's
a
some
mangled piece of crack. So
There's some broken concrete barrier on the thing that's been there for 2 years. We complained to the county about it, and they're looking for somebody to fix it. That was the last I got, so,
you could maybe
yes.
send something to the county and say, can we get this? I mean, obviously they think there should be a guardrail there,
Absolutely.
but there's no guardrail there.
I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
happens every year.
That is not, as we talked about before, our bridges are, they're throwing more control at us, but not that. As far as that goes with the county and the state, actually, I believe that's the state that fixes the guardrail on that, so.
Right.
um,
Just besides the
And
safety
count.
of it, the aesthetic value is pretty poor right now.
Yeah, go. Councilman Gerardstein.
Ron, are you currently taking applications at the Service Department?
We are, yes. We have one opening right now and possibly two.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? Councilman Jaworski again.
Ron, just a question, in regards to potholes, I know you guys can only put cold patch down, at certain temperatures. Based on the temperature this week, can you guys put some, I guess it'd be called hot patch, the normal?
We certainly could, but the plans aren't open yet.
Okay.
So it isn't worth it, it isn't justified, unless they're doing roads in the air and stuff like that, they won't open for just small amounts for the cities.
Okay.
Councilman Bella.
So why is January the highest month for sewer bills?
It's not the highest month, usually April or May is, but because we had so much snow melt and everything like that, and that's what it is. So, we have extra, water melting, extra, it's a lot better to get some infiltration into the sewer. Stormwater infiltration into the sanitary. We have a lot of leaking sewers in the city, stuff like that, and, to get through the groundwater and into the sanitary sewers, we gotta treat it.
Any further questions or comments for the Service Director? Thank you, Ron. Building Commissioner Sack.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I just want to let the council know I received 2 applications for the CBG grants, and we are processing, and that's all I have.
Any questions or comments for the Building Commissioner? Councilman Gerardstein.
Ray, have you have any contact with the Circle K at 286? Have you heard any progress on that?
I have not.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments for the Building Commissioner?
Okay.
Mayor?
I'm actually meeting with him at 1 o'clock on Thursday. He's gonna give me plans for the upcoming. I know demo, according to him, is supposed to start that building in the next 60 days or so, but he's gonna come in and I'm gonna try to get to the bottom of when everything's gonna go and I'll give you an update.
Thank you, Mayor.
Any further questions or comments for the Building Commissioner? Thank you, Ray. Recreation Director is excused, and we no longer have an Economic Development Manager. So I will now open the floor for audience participation. This portion of the meeting is intended for the audience to address the council and mayor, not the directors. Anyone who would like to address Wickliffe City Council, please stand and state your name for the clerk's record. She has a microphone as well. If because we're on cameras now.
Hi, Mary Acton, 30201 Regent Road. First, I want to acknowledge the service department here. They do a great job. I see them out all the time. I feed them, I give them water and stuff, so. But no, they do a great job. Second of all, I know the bridge is going to be coming up. Are we in discussion about patrolling the Speedway, Truman Regent Speedway, please? And the traffic that's going to go through the bridge, even though it's one way?
We had issues on Regent, Truman, those areas, and so and Grand Boulevard, Lloyd Road, so
Right.
they will run radar effectively as best as they can. The first, 3 or 4 weeks, the, trial, getting adjusted to that, but it never stops, but they wrote a lot of tickets last year.
Yeah.
So-
We got to teach people to read, obviously. That's a big thing.
And those signs, I know the signs aren't the end all be all, but those signs do help a little bit.
Okay.
And especially the one that flashes, they feel they're getting a ticket, so.
And then the third thing, I cleaned up the aluminum can area. I think Chief Ice knows this. Last week, I dumped my cans and then I brought my broom and shovel and I cleaned up the whole area. Is there any way we can get more blue bins or garbage cans there for all the aluminum cans that are being dumped? Lake County Humane Society no longer takes them.
Boy Scouts.
It's behind the fire department. There's a shed, like a,
That's run by ACBC, which is aluminum cans for burn children out of Metro. And that's where it goes. I'll make a phone call,
okay,
see
'cause
what they can do.
I-
They do that kind of independently of us. We just gave them the site.
okay, 'cause I have a can I'll bring up since we're using this, whatever we're using, Kimball, I guess. So can I do that? So we have another can up there instead of garbage bags all over the place?
Yeah.
I don't have any
You're fine
objection
with
to
it?
it. I don't think there's any objection to that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Would-
Mary.
Would anyone else like to address Wickliffe City Council? Would anyone else like to address Wickliffe City Council? If not, I'll mark audience participation closed. Committee reports. The Finance Committee met on February 6, 2023 at 7 o'clock. The purpose of 2023 budget. Present Bella, Gerhardstein, Jaworski, Koski, Levon, Soloto, Thielman. Also present, Mayor Sakis, Police Chief Ice, Service Director Strouser, Finance Director Doles, Building Commissioner Sack, Recreation Director Stopp, and Fire Chief Powers. Mayor Sakis reminded the committee that although the proposed budget has a deficit, he feels we will end up in the black. Starting with the revenue portion, Councilman Gerhardstein asked about the $18,000 in the rental income sign lease item. Doles informed him that it is the minimum we receive, and we could get more based on the ads that are run. The committee then focused on the expense portion of the budget. Councilman Koski asked about the pay increase for the safety director's salary. Mayor Sakis spoke about the number of hours he is working as a mayor safety director and feels he is underpaid when comparing the pay rate to other cities. Councilman Jaworski thinks that the proposal for the increase should not be done in term, but upon the next election. Gerhardstein asked about the $30,000 in the economic development expense line item. Items for this expense include software and using CT consultants for grant writing. Gerhardstein asked about the vehicle lease line item and was told that costs have gone up. He inquired about a new line item for the bridge and repair maintenance. The administration stated that the state is making us do the repairs at our cost. He questioned the increase in the aluminum company streetlights line item. Dole's advised that she increased it by 20% due to potential increases in utility rates. Koski asked Fire Chief Powers about the increase in the overtime fireman line item. Powers informed the committee that the increase in the overtime line item coincides with a decrease in part-time fireman rate wages. He's having difficulty maintaining the staffing of part-time employees, which causes an increase in overtime for his full-time staff. The committee had no objections or questions or suggestions. The proposed 2023 budget has a deficit of $1,742,550. The committee recommends the council that approve the budget as presented. This item is reported out of committee. Meeting adjourned at 7:40. Respectfully submitted. Councilwoman Soloto.
Thank you. The Euclid Avenue Economic Development meeting also took place last Monday. In attendance was Council President Levon, Councilman Thielman, Bala, Gerhardstein, Kosky, Jaworski, and myself. Also in attendance, Mayor Sakis, Police Chief Ice, Ron Strausser, Debbie Doles, Ray Sack, Tim Stopp, and Chief Powers. The meeting started at 7:40 p.m. Councilwoman Sloto opened with a question surrounding the economic study. Of the 3 areas suggested in the MS study, which area would we as a committee prioritize? Councilman Bala suggested that the most important area for discussion is the Euclid Avenue Lincoln Road intersection area. This is the area that would be the most impactful to the future direction of our Euclid Avenue arena. Councilman Sloto also agreed and stated that the centralized area would be the most visible and important for future development direction for the city. She stated that it would be important for us to get a seat at the table at the school board, as the school board makes decisions surrounding what to do with the school properties. Councilman Thielman introduced his concern about the aesthetics of the Gable Brothers property from the far east side of Euclid Avenue. Rasek assured everyone that he's taking this group to court and will be sure that they repave the parking lot as well as restripe it. Councilman Bala then brought up his concerns about the Ponderosa Car Wash property. It was once again discussed that because of the EPA issues and out-of-town ownership, the city's hands are tied with respect to resolving those issues at that property at this time. The ABB property was then discussed, and Rasek reminded everyone that environmental work is being done to the back building and will be completed soon. Getting back to the economic development study, Councilman Jaworski reminded everyone that the Planning Commission would like to take a look at the plan and have discussions with the Economic Committee about a comprehensive plan moving forward. Zoning would be a big part of that discussion. Councilwoman Sloto reminded everyone that changing the zoning code would accomplish very little right now, as we need to understand what development types are going to be coming before we make any major changes to our code. Councilman Thielman added to that thought by providing examples of different codes that do not presently reside in our zoning ordinances, but may be necessary depending on what type of home, townhouses, retail development may be coming in. It was decided that council will attend the next planning commission meeting to begin those working planning discussions. Councilman Sloto suggested that it's most important and timely that we connect with the school board to understand what the school board's proposed direction is with the Euclid Avenue Lincoln project. Council President Levon also suggested that we focus on the school project for our first planning commission session. Rasek will be sending out the information to council about attendance to the next planning commission meeting scheduled for May 2nd. Meeting adjourned today 20, respectfully submitted.
Yeah, just to correct you, March 2nd is the next plan.
Oh, I'm sorry, did I say May? It
Yeah.
says March,
Okay,
but I'm
yeah.
ahead of myself.
Yeah, that's all right. Okay.
March.
All right, thank you. Moving on to commission reports, Councilman Gerhardstein.
The Board of Zoning Appeals met on January 26, 2023 for the purpose of, on November 9th, 2022, Tony Continenza and Shaw McGraw of KDG Attorneys at Law made application to appeal the decision of the building commissioner to allow the exemption of vacant property registration located at 29000 and 29028 Euclid Avenue. The applicant explained that they use these buildings for storage and assembling for other business they have in the city. They stated that neither buildings have any utilities hooked up. After much discussion between the applicant and the commission members of the BZA upheld the decision of the building commissioner denying the exemption of vacant property registration for 29000 and 29028 Euclid Avenue. The board also denied a request from the applicant to have the buildings in question deemed not vacant. Respectfully submitted.
Any other commissioner reports? Seeing no old business, moving to new business A, adjust term of health board appointment. Mayor. No, who put this in there? Did you ask for that to be adjusted or no? Or is this something?
Yes. We got a letter from the health board
Yep.
that Lindsay's term was not 3 years, it's a 5-year term, and at the organizational meeting, we approved her for a 3-year term.
So it's supposed to go to 2028?
Correct.
And her name is Lindsay?
Virgilio.
That's right. I'll entertain a motion to refer the mayor's appointment. I'll make a motion to reaffirm the mayor's appointment of Lindsay Virgilio to the County Health Board with a term to expire December 31st, 2028.
Second.
Moved by Council President Levon, seconded by Councilwoman Saloto to reaffirm the mayor's appointment of Lindsay Virgilio to the County Health Board with a term to expire December 31st, 2028. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballot.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Seelman.
Yes.
Moving on to ordinances.
President, first ordinance, excuse me, ordinance number 2023-04. This is the third reading by title only, an ordinance amending Chapter 121, Council, Section 121.01, Rules, Rule 7, Order of Business of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Wickliffe, Ohio.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, seconded by Councilman Thielman to adopt ordinance 2022-04 as presented. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballot.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Seelman.
Yes.
Adoption.
Oh, that was adoption.
Oh, there was. Oh,
That was the
sorry.
third reading.
Third reading.
There's a pause, so.
Sorry.
Ordinance number 2023-05, third reading. By title only, an ordinance amending Chapter 121 Council, Section 121.01, Rules, Rule 4, Summer Schedule, and Rule 5, Special Meetings of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Wickliffe, Ohio.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Thielman, seconded by Councilwoman Saloto to adopt ordinance 2023-05 as presented. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballot.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Seelman.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance number 2023-07 amended. An ordinance providing for the compensation and other employment provisions for part-time firefighters of the City of Wickliffe, Ohio, repealing any and all other ordinances or parts thereof that may be inconsistent with this ordinance and declaring an emergency.
Suspension.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Thielman, seconded by Councilman Bella to suspend the rules of council and place ordinance 2023-07 amended on third and final reading. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballot.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
No.
Jaworski.
No.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
No.
Saloto.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
The suspension fails. It'll go on second reading.
Ordinance number 2023-08, this is the first reading. By title only, an ordinance providing appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Wickliffe, Ohio for the period ending January 1st, 2023 and ending December 31st, 2023. Ordinance number 2023-09, this is the first reading. By title only, an ordinance providing for the compensation of appointed officials of the City of Wickliffe, Ohio, and repealing any and all other ordinances or parts thereof that may be inconsistent with this ordinance. Excuse me. Ordinance number 2022-10, first reading. By title only, an ordinance providing for the compensation of certain salaried and hourly employees of the City of Wickliffe, Ohio, and repealing any and all other ordinances or parts thereof that may be inconsistent with this ordinance. Ordinance number 2023-11, first reading, by title only, an ordinance providing for the compensation of certain employees of the City of Wickliffe, Ohio, and repealing any and all other ordinances or parts thereof that may be inconsistent with this ordinance. Ordinance number 2023-12, first reading, by title only, an ordinance providing for the compensation and other employment provisions for part-time public safety dispatchers of the City of Wickliffe, Ohio, and repealing any and all other ordinances or parts thereof that may be inconsistent with this ordinance. Ordinance number 2023-13, first reading, by title only, an ordinance providing for the compensation and other employment provisions for special police officers of the City of Wickliffe, Ohio, and repealing any and all other ordinances or parts thereof that may be inconsistent with this ordinance.
Okay, move on to resolutions.
All right, resolution number 2023-01. A resolution authorizing all actions necessary to accept the Northeast Ohio Public Energy Council 2023 Energized Community Grants Fund and declaring an emergency.
Suspension.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, seconded by Councilwoman Saloto to suspend the rules of council and place resolution 2023-01 on third and final reading. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballot.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, seconded by Councilwoman Saloto to adopt resolution 2023-01 as presented. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballot.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Okay, resolution number 2023-02 by title only. A resolution recognizing Daniel Moreland on his retirement from the police department of the city of Wickliffe, Ohio, commending him for his dedicated service and wishing him good fortune and declaring an emergency.
Suspension.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Thielman, seconded by Councilman Gerhardstein to suspend the rules of council and place resolution 2023-02 on third and final reading. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballot.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, seconded by Councilwoman Saloto to adopt resolution 2023-02 as presented. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballot.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Okay, resolution number 2023-03 by title only, a resolution recognizing Donald D'Andrea on his retirement from the police department of the city of Wickliffe, Ohio, commending him for his dedicated service and wishing him good fortune and declaring an emergency.
Suspension.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Saloto, seconded by Councilman Ballard to suspend the rules of council and place resolution 2023-03 on third and final reading. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballot.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, seconded by Councilwoman Saloto to adopt resolution 2023-03 as presented. Discussion?
Mr. President,
Chief Ice?
these two guys, Moreland and D'Andrea, we had a unique skill set in there with Pat Hanks leading the bureau and these two guys in there. They had an uncanny ability to uncover crime. You don't realize how valuable they are or how good they were until you start going through their personnel file and looking at the commendation letters that they received. Just dovetails into Pat Hanks. Whenever Pat Hanks was applying for the director's position out of Lake County Narcotics, some of the folks on the board didn't know Pat very well. So, because I'm the chairman of that, so I suggested to them, to Mr. Colson, so go back and talk to your prosecutors. And you ask them who the most effective detective bureau in the county is. He came back after the next meeting, he said the Wickliffe Police. And it's not just Pat, it's the whole team. So Moreland and D'Andrea have been keeping the city safe for 30 years. And it's a huge loss. Good for the county, but it's a huge loss for us. So I want to commend them both for a job well done.
Thank you, Chief. Any further discussion on the adoption? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballot.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Thielman.
Yes.
Other legislation? Miscellaneous? Not entertain a motion for executive session.
I make a motion we adjourn to executive session.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, seconded by Councilman Thielman to move into executive session to discuss personnel, compensation, and collective bargaining. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballot.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes?
Jaworski.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Solot.
Yes.
Seelman.
Yes.
Okay, we'll take a 5-minute break and meet back for executive session.